It's Monday, which means we got to go beyond the gates again and see what's happening on everyone's new favorite soap opera. Well, hopefully. I mean, it's the only new soap opera that's been out in the past 2.5 decades. Monday's episode was another solid episode. We got a lot of reveals. There's a few things we'll have to talk about that I am concerned about, but we ended Friday with Dani getting arrested thanks to Bill coming forward wanting to press charges against for attempted murder. The whole jargon regarding the law in this episode was very much giving soap opera laws, with Jacob having to be the one to arrest Dani, which of course pissed off his wife Naomi because that is her mother. So we have some tension between those two now going forward. Anita also gave Jacob some shit. And of course, Dani herself. One of the highlights of the episode, though, was when they go down to the police station and Dani's taking her mugs, shots, and posing. You know, she used to be a model. I thought that's the kind of soap opera camp that I really enjoy. Those kinds of scenes. When too many storylines are campy, like on Days, it irks me a lot. But scenes being campy, I could get behind that. And Dani today posing was hilarious. Bill then shows up at the police station, rubbing it in. And while Hayley was out at the bar, Ashley and Derek were there, and she overheard Ashley talking about Dani being arrested, which was quick. I didn't catch it. I don't know if Naomi texted her. I don't know how she understood that Jacob was the one that arrested Dani when that was still happening on the show. I don't know if that was a continuity error or if that was just a kind of lazy way to get Hayley to the police station. But Hayley then goes to the police station and gives it to Bill. They are kind of painting Bill as what really gets him off is hurting Dani these days. I really hope we get more insight into Bill's character because I don't understand him yet. We got a flashback last week about when Dani and Bill were more in love, and that was after Naomi and Jacob's wedding. I don't know how long ago that was, but since then, Bill seems to become a guy who he's always cheated on Dani, but now he likes hurting her. And so Hayley is starting to realize that Bill seems more interested in winning against Dani or getting Dani's attention than his new wife and satisfying Hayley. It's good to see Hayley stand up to Bill so much these past few episodes. I think they are wanting to redeem her sooner rather than later. It's a little quick for that, but that seems to be where they're going. It is Hayley who convinced Bill to then drop the charges. Before that, though, I did enjoy some of the scenes of Chelsea being upset with Bill. We see Naomi upset with Bill a lot, but Bill was using the video that Chelsea recorded that went viral to have this evidence against Dani, and Chelsea felt like if Dani goes to prison, then she's going to feel responsible for her own mother going to prison, and Bill didn't seem to care. Bill was trying to call Chelsea a hero because Dani did bring a gun to a wedding. It was a big muddled mess at the police station, and there were some pros and cons. We got to see Martin try to stand up to Bill. There is tension between them, but Bill seems to have some sort of leverage against Martin. But Martin was ready to fight Bill. They continue to build Martin as a character with anger issues, and he seems like at some point his anger issues got out of control and he killed someone. That seems to be the blackmail that Bill has over Martin's head. And then Smitty, of course, doesn't like to see his husband getting in Bill's face, getting so angry, and that will bring more tension to those two as a couple. They are a very tension-filled couple. don't know how I feel about the Naomi side of things, being so mad at Jacob doing his job. Yeah, Jacob called her before this happened, and they talked about how he puts her and their marriage before his job, and then in this case, he doesn't do that. What I think I'm missing from the story is scenes between Naomi and Hayley. We've been told they were the best of friends, and that was another big betrayal in what happened between Hayley and Bill. But now we're going in 3 weeks here. And the first week, I already found it kind of odd that we didn't get a real scene between Naomi and Hayley. And I thought we would maybe get one in week 2, and that hasn't happened. Now we're in week 3, and it is a dynamic truly missing from the story. It takes away from, yeah, we know Naomi's upset with Bill, but why are we not getting any interactions between Naomi and Hayley? I think it would add more layers to both characters. And if we don't get scenes between them this week, I'm going to be disappointed. I think that is a weakness to the story overall. Especially now if we're going to have Naomi upset with Jacob. And yeah, they can't be the perfect couple in a soap opera because then they would be too boring. So they need some kind of tension between them. But I want those Naomi and Hayley scenes. I also feel like the guys in general are rebelling against the family. That seems to be what they're going for. Smitty and Martin having problems. Now Jacob was going along with Bill in Bill's... I don't want to call them schemes because Bill should feel kind of some kind of way with Dani coming to his wedding with a gun. It could have been attempted murder. That is a dangerous situation. So Bill's not completely in the wrong there. I also kind of wish that Anita and Vernon had an actual storyline. You know, they are the veteran actors on the show. I wish they had like a job or something to give them something to do other than just always trying to put out Dani's fires. That's the only thing they're there for. I'm hoping also sooner rather than later they get some stories. I saw some comments online like the Duprees need a rival family or something, or that the show in general just needs another family or a couple other families. And I don't disagree with that. You know, a lot of soaps though do start with just one family. I don't mind that we don't have another big family. We have enough other characters going around to make the show interesting still. Eventually, though, a rival family would be more interesting. It happened on Bold and the Beautiful. I would like to see it happen here because I do think that could give Anita and Vernon something to do. So whoever's been saying that online, I do like that idea. Might be too early for that though, but eventually I think that is the right call. I just hope Anita and Vernon get something other than always putting out Dani's fires. And I'm rambling on a lot about this because I want to get to the other story. But last thing about Dani, at the end, she feels like Bill is doing this to get her attention. She's not completely wrong, but then she's going on about how she would take Bill back in a heartbeat. And this is what I don't like about Dani. Yes, Dani is the driving force of the show. And she is a Spitfire. But she has this really pathetic side when it comes to Bill. And that seems to be what they're going for. But Bill does have an obsession with her too. So this toxic relationship is long from over. I was hoping it would be more drawn out before we get back there, but it seems like we're barreling towards more happening between Bill and Dani sooner rather than later. Anyway, let's get to Leslie, who was on the roof saying she was going to commit suicide so that Nicole would come up to the roof and talk to her. She's going by the name Sherry here, so her real name's Dani, but she's also going by Leslie with Eva and other people. In this case, she's going by Sherry. Her name, by the way, Sherry Carter. So us comparing her to Sheila from Young and the Restless, a definite nod to that in my opinion. She is being written a lot like a psycho, cold, plotting Sheila Carter. And so going by Sherry Carter here, I liked that nod from the show. The big meaty side of here, though, is when Nicole does finally talk her off the roof, even though she was acting the whole time, and takes her back to her office. She's Ted, and she makes sure that Ted sees her with his wife, Nicole. And then Ted's listening to Nicole and Leslie or Sherry or Dana, whatever you want to call her, when they're in the office. And then afterwards, Ted confronts Leslie, and we do find out that they really did have an affair years ago and that he paid her off. So Ted, another member of the Duprees that likes to sleep around. So it's happened to Dani. Now it seems to have happened to Nicole. Their husbands, I don't know. Ted paints himself as this good guy who loves his children. And maybe he doesn't know about Eva. So we'll see what happens when that revelation comes out about Eva. Leslie's side of the story, though, I'm surprised that we are seeing her do this so early in the story. She had a phone call with Eva after that. Eva's kind of upset that Leslie was at the hospital because Eva's supposed to be one at the hospital and Leslie's supposed to be in the background. But now Eva's finding out that Leslie already had a confrontation with Ted and that Ted's worried that Leslie's getting close to his wife. He's thinking that she wants money again, but she just wants respect, and she clearly just wants to play games with him. I expect this to go on for at least a couple of weeks, if not a few weeks, before any big revelation comes out about Eva. But the pace that the show's going, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. It's a quick pace, which is better than most soap operas. But you also run the risk of running out of the good parts of your story too soon. This is one thing I talked about in my initial video, much like I said last week, where I wanted to see the show have younger characters be young, and we're seeing that sort of, at least with Chelsea. But I also said, how is this show going to find the right pace? Because you can't be too slow in this day and age. You just can't. But how do you not be too fast either? It's such a hard balance, and I don't know the answers, and I said that in that video. I guess this is what we're getting from them, and I don't dislike it, but I am worried about the pace, more so because I enjoy the character of Leslie, and you just can't have her going off the deep end too soon, because then either two things are going to happen. She's going to become way too cartoonish too soon, or you're going to write her into a corner and you're going to have to write her off the show, at least for a little while, if not for a long while. And I'm not ready for that to happen this soon. And I don't think it's going to happen this soon, but they do run that risk of writing the story too fast. But I'm very interested to see where they go with the Ted and Dana / Leslie stuff. Still my favorite story. Eva also got to meet Andre, her cousin. They talked at the bar, and then after that, Andre ran into Ashley and Derek at the bar. Still not into that. Doug was gambling again. They slowly build up his gambling story. It's getting redundant, but I think it's more to introduce Joey / John Lindstrom and make him a bigger part of the show, I would assume. But that was the main stuff. Another solid episode. We'll see with the pace. The pace is what's interesting me most right now. Will it continue at this pace for the foreseeable future? I think that's what they're doing. Not the worst idea, because this also streams on Paramount Plus. That's another big way to find an audience these days. So I don't hate it, like I said. It does worry me in some instances because I don't want Dani and Bill to hook back up too soon. They can't continue the Hayley story redemption this fast without giving us Hayley and Naomi scenes. We've yet to have those. And I just don't want the Leslie story to go too fast, and then you write her into a corner, and then you have to write her off the show because she is one of the most interesting parts of the show to me. We'll see if I talk about this again tomorrow. If not, I'll be back Wednesday to talk about Tuesday and Wednesday's episodes.